What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the possible global units that could come from FFBE to War of the Visions. There might be a new global exclusive unit, or global first, some people like to say, and we really don't know for sure which one it could be. There's so many options. There's a lot of very popular characters, but there's also characters that may not make sense to come to War of the Visions. So let's go take a look at FFBE and see if we can kind of predict what kind of unit might come our way. Let's start off by taking a look at the FFBE popularity poll that was most recently done in global, and you can see there are a ton of units on the screen here. These are all of the global exclusive units from FFBE. Now, if you don't know, in FFBE we get a global exclusive unit, I think once a month, or if not more. Like they're much more common in FFBE than they are in War of the Visions, and there's so many cool ones here. So just kind of take a look as we scroll down here at all of the different options that may be available to us. I mean, there's some that I really don't think we'll see when you look at some of the dual units, the more themed Christmas or Halloween units, the robots or the animals, or even the guy riding the chocobo, which I actually don't know who that is. That was before my time. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to point it out. But there are a lot of cool units here that I think are very reasonable for us to expect. So let's go ahead and see who was the most popular. Ta-da! So the most popular voted unit was Malphasy, who is a dark type unit. You can see some really epic crows there in super high definition. Other than that, we had Elsperus rank 2 and then Beryl rank 3. Now, Beryl is a unit we probably won't get in War of the Visions. Now, never say never, but I think it's kind of unlikely. It's not really in keeping with what type of units we've already got in War of the Visions. Now, these top two units here, Malphasy and Elsperus, we'll look quickly at what they have to offer. They're DPS units, but when we take a look at their abilities, here's the thing, is that they are dark type units. They deal dark damage. I don't think we're going to get a dark global exclusive at this point. I think that it's too early, and because of that, again, we can look at Elsperus, at her innate abilities. Again, we've got some dark physical attacks here. This is maybe some units that, if they're popular enough, they could come in the future, but I don't think that we're going to see these ones right now. So who else do we have? Well, there's Esther and Elena, who we already have in War of the Visions, so we don't have to worry about those. Although Elena has come for the third time now in FFBE, so there's 3 versions of her. And then we have Wilk. And Wilk, I actually have loaded up here, is somebody that I really think could be a potential unit. He's very cool. He's relatively new as far as global exclusives go in FFBE, but he's very, very powerful. He's got a cool backstory, a story event that they have in FFBE, and he has the ability to either use axes or fists. So when we go and take a look at his abilities, he has 2 ways that he can kind of build here. So one of them is to build up his earth style, and the other one is to build up the wind style. And the wind one is a striking type weapon, and then the other one is an axe. So I think that a wind strike unit could be possible. It would work really well with Edward Elric. It would counter a bit of the earth play that we're seeing right now. I think that's totally possible. I think it would be very cool to see this honored in that he gets both wind and earth attacks, possibly. I know they don't usually do something like that, but it has happened. Or just to at least get maybe axe and fist attacks. So maybe fists are his weapon, but he does have access to some axe attacks, some slashing attacks. I don't know. But either way, I would be pretty pumped to see Wilk come into the game, because I think he's a really cool character. He's got some very, very neat attacks on here that we could see come in some sort of way here in War of the Visions. Now, if we continue down the list, we have a lot of these Chinese New Year characters that have come in, and then we also have Mira, who is an idol. Now, we just got kind of like an idol adjacent character, so I don't think that we're going to get Mira here, but there is a possibility we get one of these other units like Yan or Aang, or the thing I kind of wonder about this is if these are units that might come in the Chinese New Year banners. These aren't units to me that are super recognizable from FFBE, but again, they got a ton of votes. But this is also from the perspective of like, hey, which one do you want to see become a unit? So I think that there are people that want to see these become FFBE units, but they might be harder to sell in War of the Visions because they're less recognizable. Although you could say the exact same thing about Wilk. So let's keep on going here. At this point, we don't have pictures anymore, but we can see Ibarra is there, which is cool. Sylvie is there. And then otherwise, there's some other units that we might not see. For FFVIIR is in there as well. But Chow, actually, you know what? We have to pull up Chow real quick because he is awesome. Chow is a gigantic dog, so there's no way that we're going to get Chow. Oh, I'm not blocking him. Okay, good. There's no way we're going to get Chow in War of the Visions, although we totally should. I will say that Eldrin is in there, and Eldrin is a very, very cool character. One of my favorites. He is an ice type unit though, and I don't think we're going to get an ice type unit. He is FFVIIR's father. I would definitely love to see him in War of the Visions, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, there are some units that are not on this list that I think could actually come to War of the Visions, and one of them is Sky. So if you don't know Sky here, Sky is a Dragoon. She is a wind type unit. She has a bunch of different kind of jump like attacks, and she has her normal attack is actually a 2-turn jump in the air. She has got a ton of power. She's one of the most powerful Clash of Wills units in FFBE, and she would counter Dialdo because he is weak to both wind and to pierce. So it kind of makes sense. The other part of that I think makes sense is one, she's very well known from the FFBE players because of how much play she sees, and two, she's a she, and I think that naturally there's going to be more female characters than male characters. So I do think there's actually an outside chance that we do see Sky. But while we're still on that kind of Dragoon theme, we can also go check out Roberta, who's somebody that was also kind of put out there for a possible fire unit in the past. However, she could be put into other elements. I still think that would work. She actually uses other elements on her different forms, and she's not necessarily typed to a certain element. Here she has lightning breath, ice breath, and I think if they really wanted to make something work, they could figure that out. Not that I think we're going to get any of those elements specifically, but I do think that she is a very popular character. She's a very cool character. If she was able to be in War of the Visions with her little wormling sprite or unit with her, would be very, very cool. So that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her either. This next unit, I think there's actually a great chance of them coming in because they are a water unit. So this is Kaido, who is an awesome swordsman from FFBE and did recently get a Neovision. Well, not even recently anymore, but has a Neovision version in FFBE, but I like this sprite more. So this is the one that we're looking at. So Kaido has a bunch of really cool skills that are all water type skills, and would be a very cool character to bring in because Kaido could actually pair with Astrius. Maybe there'd be a team with Sephiroth or Miranda or whoever else it is, but mainly the idea there would be a water unit to kind of help out water a little bit in preparation for when Ferris comes into the game with FF5, because at this point I think that water hasn't been given quite enough to be truly competitive. They have Perrine, and I think Perrine's one of the best units in the entire game. I really do. But other than that, I'm not convinced that water has enough going on for it. So Kaido would be a very welcome addition. Even though I am a fire player, he's a very cool character, and I think that water players do deserve somebody cool like this. Another character that is pretty popular is White Dragon Ling, who is the Neovision of the 7-star Ling unit. Now, the thing about Ling is that she is fire and light elements, so I don't think we're going to get either of those this round, so it's unlikely that she comes out. But if she does, she is a full buffer slash debuffer. She's a support unit, very popular and very, very good in FFBE. Definitely very beautiful sprite as well, and I think that she would fit right at home in War of the Visions. But again, she would also fit really well with that kind of New Year theme that we've seen in the past. Either way, she is a popular character in FFBE, and I think that if she were to come, that she would be the type of unit that would get people to pull for her, and that is a very important thing when you are making a global exclusive unit. Just to kind of round out that list, in case you're wondering about some of those characters that appeared on there that didn't have photos, we have Morgana here. who is a magic attacker type unit that does use a bunch of different elements. So there is a possibility that she could come in as a wind mage. We also have Tsukiko, who is an awesome unit that wields a broom that is also a magic caster and uses multiple elements as well, at least depending on what form you look at. But this form has water in it, so maybe Tsukiko ends up being a water unit. And then there's Lilith, who I don't think thematically quite fits in with what they're doing in War of the Visions, but is obviously very popular for a lot of reasons, and is a tank of varying types depending on where you look and what kind of skills you're looking at here, but has a bunch of interesting skills to look at if you want to look her up on the FFBE wiki. So that's it for my preview in terms of what units might come to War of the Visions this summer. I personally am thinking Sky, Wilk, or Kaido. Those are my big three. I would put money, if I was a betting man, on those units to come, in one of them at least, into War of the Visions. But who really knows? These are just pulling from the global exclusive units. There's a possibility that it's an original unit from, or maybe a remake of an older unit in War of the Visions. It doesn't necessarily have to come from FFBE, but if it does, maybe we've just looked at one of the ones that will come over in the next year. So let me know if you have an opinion, if you think a certain unit is going to come. Let me know what element you think the global first unit is going to be and why. First, I definitely need to know that. Otherwise, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you all soon enough in another video.